Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's your brother Dawuud Loka, Interchange, Black History Month, the real story. I'm actually here at Abu Salah-hu-deen's house. He invited me to work on this upcoming series that we're working on. And I'm telling you, the knowledge that is going to come out there is amazing. So you have to tune in, share this video, tell your brother, your sister, your mother about it, because it is important to understand where you come from and why you're here, right? And that's not Arab type of kind of question, like the purpose of life. It is more about the identity of a Muslim. And we have identity crisis, all of us. It's not just black people or, Asian people, it's all of us. So this series is amazing. So be part of it. And yeah, I'm actually going to show you what we did actually when we arrived at his house. Alaikum, Abu Salah-hu-deen.
Walaikum salam. Welcome to my humble home. Alhamdulillah.
So, what are we going to do today? Just
Inshallah ta'ala, let's take a trip down to the basement, or as I like to call it, Bayt al-Hikmah, the house of wisdom, inshallah.
Mashallah, let's go then.
Let's go downstairs, inshallah.
So it's quite spacious here, mashallah.
And alhamdulillah, Allah bless me with a wonderful house that, alhamdulillah, I can have an even better and more wonderful library, mashallah. So, bismillah, tafaddal, welcome. Alhamdulillah, this is my library, and this is essentially,
Wow, mashallah.
this is 20 years of collecting, studying, alhamdulillah, inshallah ta'ala. As I say, I have multiple books on multiple subjects, alhamdulillah. This here is my Arabic library, mashallah.
Mashallah.
And here we can see some tafsir Quran, mashallah. Here we can see tafsir hadith. This is Sahih Muslim.
Mashallah.
An explanation.
Explanation as well, yeah?
Yeah, explanation by Imam Nawiyah, mashallah.
Mashallah.
Here we see Lisan al-Arab, which is the most comprehensive book on the Arabic language.
Subhanallah.
You can't get no better than that.
What is it called?
Lisan al-Arab, which means the tongue of the Arabs.
Mashallah.
So, mashallah, we have this, and then over here, I've got my Sahih Bukhari, mashallah, and I've got some various other Islamic books. So, alhamdulillah, here, Living Islam was a documentary that came out a few years ago.
Can you just show that again?
Living Islam, Akbar S. Ahmed, it was a BBC program.
Okay.
Going back to, I think it was 1992, 1993.
Okay.
And alhamdulillah, one of my favourite books on Brother Malcolm. Malcolm
Mashallah.
X, Make It Plain.
Mashallah,
Alhamdulillah.
mashallah.
A big inspiration for me. Alhamdulillah.
And your son, right?
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Mashallah, my son.
Mashallah.
He's watched Malcolm X lecture on the house slave and the field slave. So my son can explain to you which one is the Muslim and which one is not the Muslim. Mashallah. So, alhamdulillah. And of course, the basis for understanding as Muslims is the Seerah of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is Al-Shifa by Qadi Iyad, which is one of the very early series of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Alhamdulillah.
So I see that you pay a lot of attention into the Arabic section.
Yeah, subhanallah.
What about all these
Yeah,
other
we're
books?
getting there. Alhamdulillah, this is some of my other books on here on contemporary world history.
Yeah.
So, for example, we have a book here. We're going to mention a little. The Rise and Fall of the British Empire.
Yeah.
Very topical for today, alhamdulillah. And this is a very interesting book I got here. Now, I'm not going to show you the front cover yet, because I just want to break it down. Because there's a kind of discussion about what is British identity? Who is British?
Yeah.
Well, this is a book by a guy called David McRitchie.
Yeah.
And the book is called Ancient and Modern Britons. Now, let me show you the front cover. Now, he's showing that black people have been here in England, in Britain, going back to the Elizabethan and Tudor period of England.
Wow, subhanallah. I don't even know what that period is, but it sounds really
That's
cool.
the 14th century.
Okay.
The 14th century, subhanallah.
Subhanallah.
So, alhamdulillah, we've got many books like that, mashallah. And I'm also a man that likes to study other religions, so I can give dawah. So I've got here an introduction to Hinduism.
Yeah.
Because I always believe that we should understand a thing before we condemn it, or to have some kind of interaction with people.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
And like I say, I'm a man that likes to read anything and everything. And this is an interesting book here. It's called Above Top Secret, the Worldwide UFO Cover-Up. I don't believe in little green men, but I'm a man that believes in studying the subject, critiquing it, and then I give my opinion on it.
Subhanallah. So is it only reading books that you do it, or do you work out as well? Or?
Well, alhamdulillah, I got my workbench here. I have to say it's a little dusty at the moment, but alhamdulillah, everything is here, mashallah, because I believe you have to work the mind and work the body.
Yeah.
That's the way of a Muslim, mashallah.
No.
So alhamdulillah, this is some more of my books here. This is a book here, alhamdulillah, it's called The Rastafarians.
Yeah.
And I bought this book because I want to specifically tailor a dawah course to give dawah to Rastafarians.
Wow. So is this something we can look up into in the future?
Well, inshallah, we can hopefully link up. We can do some stuff.
Inshallah.
So yeah. So basically, here onwards, this is the Islamic section of my library. So alhamdulillah, here, up to here, mashallah.
May Allah bless you with this knowledge and implementing it.
Ameen.
And
So
bringing you closer
like
to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I've got my little Malcolm X library here. So from here to here is my Malcolm X library.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah. And then you name it. And then we got to studies of the Sharia.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. And a lot of people got to remember the Sharia is not just cutting the hand of the thief. It's about justice.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It's about justice.
Subhanallah. So where did you buy all these books? Oh, there's Arabic.
Alhamdulillah, you know what? And I have to honestly say this, I have to be thankful to Allah that a lot of the time I can be thinking of a particular topic, and then I will go into a bookshop and I will find something on it.
Oh, those over there as well, those Arabic ones? Or did
Alhamdulillah, I bought them in Morocco.
Oh, okay. Were you studying there? Or?
Yeah, I did some studies in Morocco a few years back. I had the honor to study with a sister called Alima Fatima.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. And she was a student of a very brother I was very honored to meet. His name was Sheikh Farid Ansari, Rahimahullah. He died a few years ago. May Allah give him a spacious place in Jannah.
Ameen.
Alhamdulillah, was a brother that was very kind, was very courteous, was always available for me to ask questions. So alhamdulillah, that library there is predominantly alhamdulillah books that I bought when I was in Morocco, mashallah. And as I say here, like the rest of my Islamic library. So alhamdulillah, we have something here very relevant for today. The history of Islamic Africa. MashaAllah.
MashaAllah.
So we have a lot of books here. Alhamdulillah, another favourite book of mine is The African Caliphate, The Life, Works and Teachings of Sheikh Uthman Dan Fodio, Rahimahullah.
I actually was advised not to buy that book. I don't know why.
No, it's a good book. I believe all knowledge is good knowledge.
Yeah.
You just have to know how to interpret the information.
And filter it.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. This is a very interesting book here. It came out a few years ago. It's called Elusive Yet Real, A History of Islam in Jamaica.
Wow.
It came out a few years ago. And mashallah, it's got some good images inside. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. I hope that we're going to cover some of this, with the other brothers.
Inshallah, alhamdulillah, man.
Inshallah.
This is what we would call lost Islamic history.
Yeah.
This is the history that, a lot of non-Muslims know about.
Yeah.
But as Muslims, we don't know about.
Yeah.
Subhanallah. This is the wonder, of Allah. But it's a reminder because Allah says in the Quran that when you forget Allah, He causes you to forget yourself. So I just want to show this quick picture. This is an area in Jamaica called Yallas. In other words, Ya Allah. Oh Allah.
SubhanAllah.
So alhamdulillah, the Islam of my ancestors, the slaves, they didn't totally wipe it out.
Yeah.
It clung on, and alhamdulillah, it found some manifestations. This is a very interesting book I have here. It is Islam and the Search for African American Nationhood, Elijah Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. Now, even though we know that the Aqidah of the Nation of Islam is incorrect, but what they was able to do was to create a revival of Islam amongst African people or people of African descent. So this is actually a very interesting book. that goes into the subject, mashallah. I won't show you them books because they're to do with jihad. We don't want to get in trouble.
Okay, mashallah.
But alhamdulillah, as I say, everything here is Islamic history. We have here a book on the history of the Islamic conquest of Syria.
Yeah, that's a really famous book.
And this is another book, The Golden Age of the Moor, edited by Ivan van Sertima. That this book shows the history of the Islamic conquest of Spain and shows with irrefutable doubt that the Muslims who conquered Spain were people we would commonly today call black. Subhanallah. And this is one of the most I would say conclusive books, mashallah, and evidences them. I just want to see if I can find a particular picture here. If we can find it. Yes, mashallah. This is a very good picture here. Here it says, the royal heralds on horseback summoning King Henry VIII and the challengers to a jousting tournament held on February the 11th, 1511. And we can see that one of the trumpeters is a black man.
Yeah.
And this is going back to the year 1511.
Subhanallah.
So black people didn't arrive here in the last 20, 30, 40 years. You know,
They've been here for a while.
yeah, black. You know, even it's J.A. Rogers in his book Race and Sex. He says the name Scotland is actually coming from a pharaonic princess who fled from Egypt, and she came to live in Scotland, and they gave the country her name, meaning Scotland, Scotia's land.
Subhanallah.
You know, so the history is there. It just has to be undiscovered. You know,
Yeah.
to be rediscovered. Mashallah.
Inshallah.
But
So that's what we're going to work on.
yeah,
Inshallah.
alhamdulillah, you know,
I'm really excited working with you.
What
Inshallah.
we have to do is to bring the gems out.
Yeah.
And to put them to the light for people to see and for people to understand.
Inshallah.
But this is my humble library. Got a few books over there, a few more books over here. Alhamdulillah. Many of them I've read, many of them are for reference material.
Yeah.
But for me, you're never poor when you're acquiring knowledge.
Okay.
You know, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
You're all, even if you find a sentence that's beneficial, it has been worth the price.
Alhamdulillah.
So that's my library. So inshallah, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much,
Barakallahu, alhamdulillah.